Broadcasting live from our New England studio, Solutions Review is proud to showcase SoftwareOne in the Solution Spotlight, an inside look at enterprise technologies.
I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and welcome to the Solution Spotlight featuring SoftwareOne, and focused on how to use Copilot Agents. Generative AI has evolved from a tool we harness for productivity to a true collaborator. With Copilot Agents, AI can work alongside you to boost creativity, streamline workflows, and provide real-time coaching, becoming a valuable teammate and ushering in the next era of AI-driven productivity. So today, we'll explore out-of-the-box solutions, advanced AI coaching tools, and custom agent creation. Along the way, you'll learn the latest industry trends, how organizations are leveraging AI agents to drive innovation, and how SoftwareOne's advisory services can help you navigate this AI-powered future. There's a lot to cover today, so I will turn this event over to SoftwareOne's Copilot enablement leader, Eric Mall, to walk you through their presentation.
Welcome, everyone, to the SoftwareOne Copilot Agents webcast. My name is Eric Mall. I'm a Microsoft 365 Copilot Solution Sales Specialist. So for this webcast, what we're going to focus in on are on Copilot Agents. Very, very exciting technology. So the agenda is going to be that we're going to jump right in. We're going to start to show you what agents are. I'm going to show you how to create them. And then after that, we'll talk about the why agents are important to your organization. So let's go to Edge or Chrome to start our demo. So once you're at your web page, an easy way to do it is if you go in and you were to type in copilot.cloud.microsoft. If you do this, it will bring you to the Copilot chat page. If it's the first time that you're doing this, you will typically have to authenticate. And then once you've authenticated, this is the page you will see. A couple of things that are important to note once you land here is that you can go in and the thing that I always check for is my shield showing. This basically refers to the fact that Microsoft, when they implemented Copilot, enabled the enterprise data protection, which means that the LLM is not in learn mode. So anything you do here, it's not going to use the information that you share with the LLM to train the model, which is great news. And that's true whether you're pointing to the web or to work, which is your intranet. The next thing to also note is that if you have a license, you'll see a toggle. If you don't have a license, you don't see a toggle. What's important here, though, is that a user that does not have a license can actually still use an agent. So you can still create the agent and have the user upload it. To do this, you'll have to enable the pay-as-you-go model. So this is a pay-as-you-go model in your admin center and as well as an instance in Azure. But at that point, the users can start to use the agents without having a full Microsoft 365 Copilot license, if that is something that you want to do and push it out through your organization. So the first time you come here, you will see here that on the right-hand side, you've got the Copilot, and you're only going to be showing one agent, which is Visual Creative. Now, what I also want to show you is that you can use this in different, not just on web pages, but in this instance here, if I was to jump to my team site, we'll see that in my team site, you'll typically have the Copilot icon on the left side over here. I click on that, it opens up the exact same page. And again, you will have the agents over here. So if I click on Visual Creator, this is known as a declarative agent. So Microsoft also refers to these as first type agents. The idea here is that I can go into this and I can basically type in can you create for me an image? So in the Visual Creator, you can actually go in. And if I want to here, I'll do this. So let me do Planet Earth at night from space. Very simple, very effective. So, and there you have it. So again, it's a very simple example of an agent that you can use. And of course, when you have the images, you can actually use them, you can download them, and then you can take advantage of the image that you like. So I've done this for presentations, really like it. It's very effective. Now, let's say I wanted to go a step further. And are there other declarative agents that I can take advantage of? So you'll notice on the right-hand pane right over here that you've got Get Agents. So if you actually click on Get Agents right over here, it'll bring you to a new page. And then what you can notice here is that all of the agents that are available, some of them are for free, some of them you have to pay for. But if you go to the, you can click on the Microsoft 365 certified agents. These are all the certified ones. But if you want to do a quick view of the agents, click on Build by Microsoft. So if you look at the Build by Microsoft, these are the ones that you're looking at. A shortcut to this is the ones that I like to go to is if you type in Coach, top corner here, it will show you all of the, these are the ones by Microsoft: Idea Coach, Learning Coach, Career Coach, Prompt Coach, Writing Coach. So my two favorites agents, by the way, are the Prompt Coach and the Writing Coach. But it doesn't mean that the other ones would not be of value to you. So my recommendation is go ahead and load and try them. So for example, the moment you click on any of these, typically what would happen here is that you would see right over here, add. So if you click on add, it would actually add it to your pane. In my instance over here, because I've already done it, it's already preloaded. So if I go to open it up, you will see it right over here. So here's the prompt code sitting over here. And there I have it showing up. So again, the approach is that Microsoft will give you a preset prompts that you can take advantage of. So in this case here, if I want to, I can use this to help me generate a prompt to be used in Copilot. So again, creating a really good prompt will give you some great results. And then you just click on that, and then you just go down here, and you just execute the command. And then from there, you basically follow the instructions, and it'll help you create the prompt that you're looking for. So that's one simple example. If you want to go back to the initial Copilot chat window, what you do is you click up here, you just click on the Copilot at the very top. That brings you back to the original page that you're on. So there we have it right there. And then again, the Writing Coach, as I mentioned, is also one of my favorites. Here, I can actually use this to either write a professional blog post. I can use it to write a white paper. Typically, I also use it to critique the writing. So if I've written something, I can also take advantage of this. So one of the things I'll show you a bit later on is also the capability of embedding an agent within an Office 365 application like Word and taking advantage of it there. So we'll cover that a bit later on. Okay, so we've shown you how to load agents that are created, but now let's say that I want to go and create my own agent. So let me go back to Copilot here, and let me give you an example as to why this becomes very, very effective. So I'm going to go in, and let's say I'm going to take here, I'm going to enter in this prompt. You are an account manager doing research on clients, a simple prompt. So when you execute on this, then this is in the chat window itself. It's going to come back and says, hey, what's the company background? Sorry, I can help you detailed insights such as all of these. So just let me know the name of the client that you want, any specific areas, or whether you want a summary. So I could have just gone in here, and I could have typed in, for example, let's see if I have it already populated here. Actually, no. Okay, so I would have gone in and I would have typed in, okay, so I want this to be on, I'll do it on SoftwareOne. And then I'll do this specific area. Yeah. And I'll say, let's go for cloud services. Let's just go services all. And then after that, I want, in this case, we'll just do summary. That's all you need to do, right? So that's a simple example. So in this scenario here, it goes out and it does a very good detailed, summary. It finds out a lot of information. on SoftwareOne. But again, if I want to change it or manage it, I would have to enter this over and over and over. So if I have a set of prompts that I use over and over, maybe I can automate the process. And this is where the agents come in. So similar to what we did previously, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into create an agent right over here. So if I go into create an agent, I will open up a new window. So in this window here, I'm actually going to be using Copilot Studio. So the Copilot Studio is very, very important because it is the environment that you're going to use to create your agent. The Copilot Studio that comes with the Microsoft 365 Copilot license is a lighter version of the full Copilot Studio license. So it doesn't have all of the capabilities, like actions aren't there, and it is trimmed down, but it is meant to be effective in terms of what you're trying to do. So what you can now do is use simple language to start to create your own agent. So this side of the pane over here is known as the agent builder. This side of the pane on the right-hand side, this is your sandbox. This is where you can actually go in and you can actually test it before you actually create it or you publish it. So the first of the two tabs, you'll see describe and configure. So let's say I go into describe, and what I'm going to describe is that I'm going to enter in the exact same command I entered before. So you're an account manager doing research on clients. So at this point, the agent builder starts to take over and says, okay, the first thing it's going to ask for is, do you want a name for it? How about client research manager? And I said, okay, if you're happy with this, and just say yes. Now, what you'll notice is that it has already started to create the code. And on the right-hand side, it has already given you an indication of the prompts that it's thinking of, right? So if you just say yes, that means I'm going to keep the client research manager there. It's going to come back and says, okay, now let's refine it. First, what specific tasks or actions should the client research manager perform? For example, gathering client information, analyzing data. You can literally just say yes, or you can modify it accordingly. So for the purpose of this webcast, we'll keep it very simple. Yes. What guidelines should the client research manager follow when performing tasks? For example, ensuring data accuracy, maintaining confidentiality. The answer is absolutely yes. Now, while it's doing this, under configure, it's actually generating the code. So, and you'll notice that the prompts on the right-hand side might have changed slightly. Would you like to add any publicly accessible websites as data sources for client research? I'll say this is optional. Say no for that. No. And then it's going to come back and says, okay, now you can try the client research manager agent. So here are the prompts. So before we jump into the sandbox, right over here, we can actually go into configure. So if you toggle over to configure, now you'll see what it has done. So it's gone in, it's given me the name of it, the client research, and you'll see that in the window, it's up here. The description is, again, it auto-generated this, but again, you can generate this also, and that actually appears right over here. So you'll notice that the instructions are very simple, right? Perform tasks such as gathering client information and analyzing client data, ensure data accuracy, maintain confidentiality, which is what we had asked it to do. So as I scroll down, a couple of things to note is that by default, you have a choice of pointing to your source of knowledge, either intranet, so you can point internally to a document. If you've got a Word document or a PDF or anything that you need information from it, you can do that here. Or in this scenario here, I'm just going to be pointing to the web. So I'm going to be enabling the web search to be turned on. If I wanted to remember the image generator that I had previous to that, I could have turned that on right over here. So again, that's an option. Now, these are the 6 prompts that it auto-generated for you, right? And you have a choice of either changing that or modifying it, or you can keep it as is. So let's say that I'm happy with this. You'll notice that right now, at the top left corner, this draft has been saved, right? So I've put in the save mode is right over here. I haven't created it yet. So let's go ahead. So please analyze. So can you get information on the client X? So let me click on this one here. And the client that I will do is, let's do it for SoftwareOne. So I'll go ahead to do this. So can you gather information on client X? Let's do this for SoftwareOne. There we go. And now I'm going to execute it. And now it's going to go ahead and it's searching out to the web. And there we have it. Company overview, recent news, client portal. So as you can see, it is somewhat generic. So this is a good start. This is a good start, right? Now you could have come in here and you could have said, you know what, this isn't bad. But let's say that I would have said, if I want to do, instead of maintain confidentiality, I would have gone in here. Let's say I want to do a SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis. So here I'll just put in here, enter name, and then I want to go change this, and then I'll do is virtual page SWOT analysis. So I should point out that Copilot's very good at typos. So I'll go and grab this one over here, and then you'll see right over here that it's auto-saving the update. Now again, I can go to new chat right over here. I'll wait for the auto-saving to be completed. And once it's completed, then I can go up. So it didn't quite do what I was looking for. Sometimes you will get this error saying agent just communication defect. I'm gonna just go ahead and make another change. So there we go. Sometimes there's a timing out issue. There we go. Draft auto save. So now you should see the capability. Here it is. Enter client name, perform SWOT analysis. So if I go here, I type in SoftwareOne, it will do SWOT analysis. So for those of you that don't know what SWOT analysis is, what are strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Good. So if I'm happy with this, and I'm happy with the final results, I can now create it. Once I've created it, it's going to create the agent. And then the first time you create the agent, the only one that has access to it is yourself. So now you have to determine who is the agent for. So you'll notice here, right now, the link only works for you. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the settings. And instead of this, I can specify specific people in your organization or anyone in your organization. So I'll say this. And so now it's updated the permissions. And at this point, I can take the link over here and I would share this link with my coworkers. So once I've done this and I can close this, you'll notice that because I've created it, if I were to close this down and if I were to do a refresh on my page here, I can go back to Copilot right over here. Actually, okay, so if I were to jump, let's say, back to Edge, go back into Edge. Let's go into a clean version of Edge. Again, moving from Teams to Edge. So there's a good example of it. So at this point, you will see that the client research manager is right over here. I can click on this, and there I have it. Okay, so again, and there was the edit that I made at the SWOT analysis. But again, this can be totally changed. So the next thing I want to show you is, okay, so now I can see the value of, again, I'm going to take a whole bunch of prompts I'm going to use day in, day out. I want to automate them, I can package them. So when you actually go into creating an agent, So let's go back to Teams, where we were. So if I go back into Teams and I want to create an agent, what I want to show you is that Microsoft also provides templates. So on the left-hand side here, these are all the templates that are there. So remember the one that I showed you that you could download, the writing coach? Let's say you want the writing coach. And if you were to choose the writing coach right over here, this template, by the way, can be edited. So before that, I could not edit it, but now I can actually edit it. I can change this. So if I want to change one of these prompts, I can definitely do this. So again, the advantage to that is that you have a lot more flexibility here. The other one I was going to show you is, remember the research that we were doing on a client? Well, lo and behold, right over here, you have customer insights. And so under customer insights, this is Microsoft's version of what I just created. So under customer insights, these are the key prompts that it wanted. And it has also cleaned it up. So you can actually just take this template and use this for your customer insights going forward. So you have the flexibility of creating an agent from scratch, or you can also create an agent as you, or you can take one of these templates and manage it accordingly. Okay, so this should give you a good jump start in terms of how you do it. A few caveats I'll talk about a bit later on. The Copilot Studio that we did with Microsoft 365 Copilot here, whatever agent you create here right now cannot be transferred over to the Copilot Studio full license. Or a Copilot Studio full license agent that you create there can be transferred to here. So right now, those two are not connected. So just be aware of that subtle nuance. The last thing I want to show you was I had mentioned that you can use agents within Office 365 applications. So let's go to a Word document that's over here. And in the Word document, let's say that I'm going to ask it to create, let me type something out for you guys. Sure. Okay, so there's the prompt. You'll notice that if you do this in Word Online, it auto-completes, so include best practices. You can hit the tab key, yes, I want to keep that. And you can just keep on going until you feel that the prompt is complete. So this, and you will not get this autocomplete, by the way, if you're using the Word-rich client. So this is one of the values of using Word Online with Copilot. So if I go ahead and just execute this, it's going to go ahead and generate for me a document, a white paper. As you can see, it's very quick, it's very effective. And of course, I can tailor this, I can manage this. So let's say I go ahead and keep it. Now, one of the advantages too is that in the introduction, I can highlight the introduction right over here. And also this is a capability that comes with the online version right now, is that if I wanted to, I can go in here and I can writing suggestions, and I can actually do the a coaching aspect. So I can see how I can manage it. But let's say that I want to instead go ahead and use the writing coach. So I'll open this on the side right over here. It says, Eric, what do you want to do? And you'll notice right up here, this is where I can invoke the agent. So I could have gone in here, and if I use the @ symbol, it'll bring up all the agents that are available to me. So there it is right there. So if I do the writing coach agent here, it's good, but it doesn't give me the prompts that I actually want. So I prefer to go up here. And now if I go to, here's my writing prompts. And of course, here are all the agents that I have access to. So if I click on writing agent, it now brings up the prompts. So what I really want to do is help me provide a constructive feedback on a piece of writing. So if I click on this, and now I go enter. Now it's going to say, okay, what do you want me to coach you on? So I'm going to grab this information here. Introduction says, hey, can you go ahead and work on this piece right over here? And now it's going to go ahead and analyze it. So here's a perfect example of how you can start to embed agents within Office 365 applications. If you're happy with this, it can show you what the updates are looking like and the recommendations are. And then you can use that. And of course, if you wanted to, you can do the insert, and it would insert the text right back into your document itself. So that was a quick overview of agents in terms of how to create them and how to use them. So let's wrap it up and let's talk about some of the key concepts. So hopefully you were able to take away a few golden nuggets. So again, as we talked about, what is an agent? Agent is basically an AI app. It is a declarative AI app, so it's going to do what it was told to do. It is able to connect to business data, the internet, and tools and systems, and it basically helps automate your Copilot prompts. So we have created a whole bunch of agents internally at SoftwareOne, and we started to distribute them. And I probably use those agents on a daily basis, and it makes a huge difference in terms of my productivity and my efficiency. A few things to keep in mind is that the Copilot Studio that you get with the Microsoft 365 Copilot is a slimmed down version of the full Copilot Studio license. So you can still get that license. If you actually own the Microsoft 365 Copilot Studio, you have access to the full Copilot Studio license, or you can buy through the message pack, and that gives you more capabilities to connect to APIs and plugins and Microsoft Graph connectors. Of course, if you want to go beyond that, agents can also be created using Azure OpenAI Foundry, and that truly gives you total flexibility in terms of how you create them and how you manage your agents. So again, something for you to keep in mind. Okay. In terms of accessing the agents, we talked about the fact that you can access them in Copilot Chat, you can access them in Teams, you can also access them in your Office 365 applications. What's important to understand is that if you do create an agent and the user does not have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, you can still access it through the pay-as-you-go model. If the agent only points to the internet, there's no charge. If the agent points and gathers information through Microsoft Graph, which is your intranet, then you'll get a charge per number of messages per agent. That will vary on the type of agent that you've created. I think the base is like 0.01 cents per message, but you might have like 30 or 50 messages depending on the type of agent that you have. But you can share it across all open users, so it's not assigned to a user in this instance. So again, this is where you have to decide: do I get the full license, or do I want to go with the pay as you go model? What we did talk about is you also have the capability of creating agents in SharePoint. So that's also something that can be of value to you in terms of finding specific information on the SharePoint page and assisting users in navigating to SharePoint page to do a specific task within the SharePoint page. So that's something else to consider. So just in closing, I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully, our recommendation obviously is start using the agents. Start with the basic ones, download the ones, the declarative agents or first type agents that are for free from Microsoft. Start to create your own agents. Make it very simple. If there's a prompt that you're using day in, day out with a couple or 2 or 3 prompts, put them together and put that into your instruction set. And that's where you can actually manage them. So we will be providing information back to you. So we'll send you this presentation. We'll also send you some additional information. If you need to reach out to SoftwareOne, then feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to assist. So thanks again for your time, and have a great day.
So there you have it, another solution in our spotlight. We want to thank Eric Mahl and SoftwareOne for that presentation, and we appreciate your attendance as well. Until next time, I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review. Thanks for watching.
If your business would like to be featured in a future event, contact us today.